Hello and welcome to Enfield Today. I am your host, Kevin Kibbe. Guys, we have got an amazing show tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun and we got a lot of information. This is going to be awesome because tonight we have Tom Arnone, who is the president of Kids First, and Gene Hoy, who is the Youth Services Program Director here in town. Tom, just get right to the point. I'm going to start with you tonight, sir. What is Kids First?
Well, Kids First started, I think we're in our 8th year right now. Actually, I started just wanting to volunteer at the youth center. And it came into something that was grew out of that. We wanted to specifically target projects in town that needed to be done, large projects.
Right.
So we started a 501c, named it Kids First. We started with our first project, which was the Angela Lamagna kitchen. It was needed a renovation. So we started our first large project with that, and we've been doing a lot of stuff on the side around that as needed throughout the town. We're actually, we help do a lot of administrative work too for other nonprofits that are trying to get their 501c status, so we'll help them with administrative bookkeeping.
Right.
We'll teach them how to get up and going, all totally free, and we've got 4 or 5 different groups in town that we help out right now. And we hope for them someday to be 501cs and go out and spread the good work in Enfield.
I mean, that's just needed. It's wonderful for the town. It's so important that you do. And I was talking with someone, and they were telling me about the kitchen. Like, you guys, you didn't just redo a kitchen, you redid the kitchen.
Yeah, from scratch.
And then the kids, you know, not only do you help them out with, you know, the things that you're speaking of, but they're also getting side things like learning how to cook a meal, learning how to, you know, that's just, it's just really wonderful. And then Gene, question for you. What types of programs does the Enfield Youth Services, you know, Coalition do? What's up with them? What do they do?
Well, Youth Services has a variety of services and programs. We have 2 clinical social workers that are licensed, and they do counseling. They work with families and kids. We provide case management to make sure kids and families are getting the services they need in town, whether we provide them directly with our clinical staff or we help families find the right service that works for them. We do a lot of collaboration with the Enfield Police Department.
Nice.
And the Enfield schools. We run the Juvenile Review Board with our police. This is for kids who are getting arrested in town, but we provide diversion because we don't want our youth going into the prison system.
Correct.
So we divert them from that, and we really take time to understand why they're there and what's happening in their life so that we can really work with the issues to get them back on track.
And there's a lot involved with that. I mean, it's not an easy task, and it takes, you know, that's an incredible type of person and people that, you know, work to, you know, help these youngsters because they're good kids. A lot of them are good kids who've just done some, maybe they've done some stupid things, but inside they're good kids. And one of the neat things that Enfield does every year is the Pirate Festival, and that's coming up soon. And we have a slideshow, I guess, that's ready to be shown with a few photos of that. And are they ready to go? There we go. Well, what are we looking at, Gene?
Oh, this is our youth council. We provide a lot of youth development. So we have a youth leadership group that provides a lot of awareness into government, into prevention, and to community services. So they sponsor a radio show with Asna Talk where we invite our community to come and present their programs. And we give the kids skills about learning how to create radio announcements.
And this is a side question. Hopefully, maybe you already have, but hopefully someday you'll have some success stories where the kids can come back that, you know, went through the program and have done some good things and have really have made something of themselves, can come back and talk to the current children, you know, that are in there. And you're both involved in, you know, the Enfield Together Coalition, both of you guys. What kind of work does that do? I mean, what's that group about?
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate to be one of the co-chairs with Joan Larson, and it's a community-based group run through youth services that actually we try to prevent drug and alcohol abuse from teenagers. So, and I can let Gene do some of the details of the coalition. It's multi-citizens of all ranges, and they do some great work, and we're really proud of the work they do in Enfield. But if you want to give it some history on how it all started.
The Enfield Together Coalition with Youth Services and Tom Known Kids First has been very successful getting grants. And through the capacity, we've built a very large and strong high-capacity coalition.
Wow.
And we use universal strategies so that we can change norms and conditions in our community that we know sort of trigger substance use in youth. So it's a very strong and very active coalition, and we love to involve our community.
You know, youth services has so many different avenues that they have.
Sure.
And just touched on a few, and I wanted, the Suicide Prevention Committee they're also in charge of. They're all in charge of now with the opiate addiction
Right.
community too. It's just fantastic work, and few people know.
The suicide one, I mean, that's so important because, as you know, Enfield's had those in the past. There was a little run for a while
Yes.
that wasn't good, and thank goodness we haven't heard it. But I've got some numbers really quick that I saw yesterday that were given to me. Alcohol use rates for 2015, 14.6% of the students in grades 6 through 12 have reported drinking alcoholic beverages, and in the last month, that's a lot. The marijuana use, same thing, 18.1. The prescription drug abuse, heroin abuse, though, that's the big one, and that one seems to be more prevalent. We did a show about that a while back. We got to fix this somehow, and you guys are helping do that. And Jean, where can parents and kids find information about the youth center? I mean, where can they go to look for that?
They can like us on Facebook,
Okay.
Enfield Youth Services or Enfield Together Coalition. And we have a website on the Town of Enfield website under Youth Services.
Okay.
They can find us there. And the Enfield Together Coalition, if they're interested or need resources for a loved one who's using substances, the Enfield Together Coalition. We have a lot of links and information.
Perfect. And then just so everybody knows that the link is underneath right now, underneath me on the on this show, so they can get that information from there. What kind of projects, Tom, has Kids First done, and what are you currently working on? Anything?
Well, currently, like I said, we finished a kitchen, which was a very large task. Now we're running programs. We can proudly say we're running programs, nutritional classes for the kids. It's just a phenomenal success. The kids love it. They just not only do they love to eat, because so many of the kids are at the youth center. From the time they get off the bus till 8 o'clock when it closes. So, a number of the children really don't eat dinner. The best meal of the day is school lunch.
Sadly.
So it's a great thing to have that outlet for them to learn and actually have some food themselves.
Well,
and
I was going to say, especially in the summer, because they don't have the school lunch.
Exactly. So we're gearing that program up, and we're really we just geared it up this year. It was a pilot program for a little while that the youth services did, and so we're working together on this, and we hope to gear it right into nutritional classes. So right now we're working on we would like to. There's a small park next to the youth center. We're looking to put a basketball court in there and help out with the. Just the makings of the whole park itself.
Nice.
It's something that's right now just a grassed lot. So this Pirate Fair this year, the proceeds from that will be going towards starting to save up and gear up for the that task of getting a basketball court, which sounds like an easy task until you try to do it.
Correct.
And
I know.
It's
just
a
go do it.
several-year project, but we will do it.
Just go build it.
Just go build it, exactly.
Not
We do a
quite
lot
that
of smaller community things throughout the year too. We do the Christmas party for the youth center. We work with anywhere we can to help shore up any program the youth center has or anything we do. We're kind of like the friends of the youth center too, youth services. So
Nice.
that's our main goal.
I heard you're a pretty good Santa Claus too.
He's the best.
That's
He's the
the
best.
rumor I've heard over the past. And the same, where can the people go to find out more information?
Yeah,
on your
we have a
stuff?
website, www.kidsfirstenfield.org, and that gives most of the information you'll need there. Or we do have a Facebook page too. You just put in Kids First. We got on Facebook. So.
And that information also will be on screen too, so people can see it and write it down. We're going to take a short break. This is going to be really good. We're going to go into a PSA, and then we're going to come back with a couple other guests on the Pirate Fair. So hang on just a minute, folks. Just a minute. We're going to there we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Maybe
Thank
he's really
you
focused.
so much.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Yeah.
You always get the bloopers.
Okay, welcome back. This is the really exciting as well. I am so thrilled to do this. The Pirate Show, the Pirate Festival is coming up in just a couple of weeks, and I've got a couple guests with me. I've got Chelsea Kerr.
Hello.
Hi, Chelsea. Welcome to Enfield Today.
Hi.
And John Knife.
How you doing?
Good. These guys are co-founder of the, what does it say here? Bloody Historical, who plays the part of Woods Rogers, and at the Enfield Pirate and Food Truck Festival. What do we got going on a little bit, guys?
Well, at the Enfield Fire Festival, we're going to have a lot of history displays as well as a cast aspect to it. So if you want to talk about some of the plays and stage shows that are going to go on.
Well, we do have a full cast that's going to be performing as historical characters during the day, and kind of bring to life these different historical figures that, you know, you read about, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, but you get to actually see them in person and learn about their lives. It's going to have comedy, sword fighting, we're going to be even firing cannons and black powder. So it's quite a big to-do, bringing attention to the arts and to history and all sorts of different really fun aspects that make it so much fun.
And what's neat about this is because I'm a history buff, and I know Tom also is, and you guys obviously are, but it's neat that when you guys are literally going to be walking around the town green in character, you know, so people can actually see and witness what it was like, you know, when these guys were here and doing what they were doing. It's cool. And Kids First, Tom, is the largest fundraising event, like you were saying before, for the Pirate Festival. It's in its 5th year this year. Tell us a little bit about the event.
Well, the event started 5 years ago. We started with a Renaissance Fair for our first year.
I remember that.
And it was a huge success. And this is, you know, all about family. You know, we want your kids to come out. We want the young children to come out. The whole extended family, grandmas, grandpas come out. We got something for everyone, especially this year as it's grown. So in the second year, we went into a themed pirate festival for the last 4 years now, which is it's been phenomenal. It's so exciting to actually see some of the younger kids walk right up to you know, any of the pirates that are there and ask them a historical question too. And they'll spend time with each child, and there'll always be a group of people around them. You've seen some of the pictures that we put up there. So you know, we have the food trucks. We have this year we'll have a couple carnival rides for the young kids. So we have something for everyone. The live shows are phenomenal. Magicians we're going to have. We're going to have the sword fighting, which is always a lot of fun for the family, and some great singing and singing of good old ship tunes and tunes of the day.
Arr. When does it go? Friday? Is it Friday through Sunday?
It's actually Saturday and Sunday, Labor Day weekend. It's 11 to 6. And on the town green. Admission is free this year, so we're doing something really different for the fair. And the Connecticut Renaissance Fair people have been phenomenal for us. We met 5 years ago on Facebook, and you know, we told them our story, and they were just like, we want to help you. And they've been out here helping us, you know, put this event together for the last 5 years. So it's a free event. Now, we usually had a $5 entrance fee. So now it's free. Just come on in, bring your family,
really
and enjoy the day.
So where does the money come from? Obviously the food trucks.
Sure, the food trucks, the money will be coming from the food trucks, and the different, there will be some games there too that'll be, you know, $3 for some games to play. But all the shows are free. All the reenactment is free too. So we have a pirate reenactment there with cannons. That's all free. We have 3 stages that'll have all 3 going different times of the day of different acts and musical acts. So that's all free. And then you can pay if you'd like or not to play some games or some rides or eat, please.
And I would encourage everybody to do that because, as we've seen so far on the show, the money that is being raised is going to a really good cause, you know, and it really is. So, you know what, maybe skip breakfast or lunch rather at home and have some stuff from the food trucks and push these things, guys, because these guys work hard.
And let me just say, too, first, Kids First is a 100% volunteer-driven organization. There is no salaries, no pay. Everybody volunteers for free to do this, so we're up to the high 90s, 97, 98% of the dollars go directly back into the charity.
And that's crazy. I tell you, that's awesome because it's such a huge commitment by people who truly and really care about the community and the people in it and the town. And, you know, how long have you guys been doing the acting? What's your role? What do you do?
We're going to date ourselves.
I've been doing historical presentations for probably the last 12 years now. I've gone all over the United States doing it, down to Key West. I've been out to LA to do different things. I live here in Connecticut now, and I've had the opportunity to work with the Connecticut Renaissance Fair and the Enfield Pirate Festival for the last 3 years. So every year we try to build more things, historically accurate things, and bring them. So if you come to Bloody Historical's display, not only can you see all of the treasure and the cannons that we'll have out, but our tables are built the correct way. Go ahead and look under them. I don't use the screws. You know, I've actually been to events where kids have wanted to learn more, and I've been able to say, why don't you go read this book about knot tying, or why don't you go read this book about sailing? And then the next year the kids will come back and they'll be like, look, they're holding it, you know, so proud.
So they'll remember you from the year before and seek you out to show you what they did.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
It's really, really neat.
We actually do have fans that follow us around. I also work with Bloody Historical, and we've been doing the reenactments now. This is the 3rd year with Bloody Historical, and I did the reenactment the year before to the 2nd year at the fair as well. But you know, we have a lot of hands-on displays that kids can come up and just we have the treasure here where people can just pick it up and actually say, wow, what is this? You know, is this how heavy this would be? What are these markings?
Right.
Or even, you know, sewing displays, we do cooking displays and things like that. And then of course, outside of the reenactments, which if you want to learn more about the history behind this, you can always visit our website, which is bloodyhistorical.com, or find us on Facebook.
And they can follow you as the year goes. Do you guys go to other places? Or?
We do. So we travel all over the East Coast. We actually have won awards now for our historical displays.
Wow. Well then.
Yeah.
So,
and we travel through different eras in time. You know, we don't just do pirates. We go all the way back to the Middle Ages. We do some medieval stuff. We do some World War II stuff. Everything in between. You know, just try to teach history.
Yeah, I could hang out with you guys all day and night. We love the History Channel.
Well, if you come to the pirate fair, we could teach you how to use the cannon.
Well then, and you guys are going to really blow a real cannon.
Yes.
Is that correct?
This cannon here,
there's
actually.
There's a little cannon here. This one is a 5/8 U.S. carronade.
Okay.
And we have a full-size U.S. carronade, which is, like 300, 400 pounds?
It's about 400 pounds, so it's a little hard to bring into the show, but it'll be at the fair.
But the little one, what would they have used that for?
So this cannon here, it looks bigger than it should be.
Okay.
It's built on a ship's carriage, so that's what this would be sitting in below decks. But a cannon this size would actually be mounted on the rails. It would be called a rail gun or a swivel gun, and they would actually use this as close quarters combat. And they wouldn't be using cannonballs, they'd fill it with langrel or grape shot or, you know.
So it's more like a shotgun blast that just goes.
Exactly.
And then, Chelsea, really quick, can you tell us a little bit about the organization that you work with? I know you did a little bit more and planning these events. How do you guys do that?
So with the Connecticut Renaissance Fair, I've actually been their costumer now. This is my 2nd year as the costumer, and this is my 1st year directing one of their shows, which is kind of cool. So I'm just directing the stage aspect of it, writing the scripts and costuming it. So it's a little bit, it's a lot, but I'm sure we'll prevail. But the organization of, I mean, it's fun because we all get together, we all have like minds, kind of discuss what we want to do, you know, and we have different time periods that we do with like the Renaissance Fair. We're doing a Queen Elizabeth Fair in the fall.
Nice.
So you know, we get to sit around and talk about, well, which dress do we want to use of Queen Elizabeth's?
Right.
How do we want her to look? How do we want her character to be? Do we want her pre-pox or after-pox? You know, so we have to talk about the history of it.
After-pox.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, but it was real.
And we're also doing a musical in the fall, musical Macbeth. So we're bringing kind of an exciting twist to Shakespeare, because not many people read Shakespeare these days and go, wow, my life is complete.
Correct.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I hear you.
Unless you're, you know, nerdy like us, but that's beside the point.
That's okay, I'm nerdy too.
But so we're bringing a really entertaining twist to Shakespeare. We did it last year and it was a hit. It was wonderful.
Was it?
Yes, we did musical Macbeth, and this year it's going to be Midsummer Night's Dream. So, you know, it's such a blast. And we have 3 different big festivals that we usually run. We have the Robin Hood Renaissance Fair in the spring.
Yeah.
The Enfield Pirate and Food Truck Festival, which is coming up, of course, while we're here. And then the Fall Fair. And so each one has its different theme and different kind of aspect of history that we touch upon. So we can not only educate about that, but also just, you know, have fun doing it.
Sure, and that's the key. You have to enjoy doing it, because if you don't enjoy it, then you probably wouldn't be in character all that well, and then things like that. So it's a huge commitment. Again, what I was saying to Tom earlier, on this volunteer stuff, that everybody just seems to be so. And I would encourage anybody watching to follow these guys on Facebook and on their website and go through with them. Tom, the Pirate Festival first came to Enfield in 2012, so like you said, you're on your 5th year. How did Kids First come to host it? I mean, how did that come together?
It was they were looking for a weekend event. They wanted to host a weekend event in this area, and I just picked it up on social media, and I got in contact with Brian Harvard, which is the organizer of the whole fair, and we were discussing bringing it here to Enfield. And I told him, well, you know, we have a local children's charity in town, Kids First, that, you know, we're looking kind of for a signature fundraiser, and they were phenomenal. From that point on, they were just like, yeah, we love it. We're going to help you, and you know, they definitely embraced us, and they have embraced us ever since. Even the other fairs that we're allowed to go and try to raise some money over the years, they've embraced us through the whole thing. Great people.
Awesome. And then we've got some show and tell artifacts. What do we have?
So what you're looking at here on the tables here is replica treasure from shipwrecks that actually sank in the time period between 1690 and the 1720s. If you've ever heard of the shipwreck of the Etosha that sank near Key West, these are actually replicas of the bars that were recovered from that shipwreck by Mel Fisher in the 80s. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let us touch the real treasure bars because we'd be looking at over $1 million in treasure just right here.
Oh my goodness.
But all of the markings are copied from the original bars. So you can actually see the serial number of the bar. You can see the foundry marks, the maker's marks, the owner's marks. Heck, the Spanish royal tax stamp is even on them. And this was how the treasure that was taken from South America was moved and shipped back to Spain and then melted down into coins. The one bar here would be about 75 pounds. So it's a lot easier to move 75 pounds of a brick than 75 pounds of coins.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is your bulk shipping of gold and silver.
So these were found like where, archaeological type dig?
Yeah, an archaeological dig near Key West, actually in the Caribbean, in the water. And they were taken up out of the water, started in the 80s, and I think they're still recovering some treasure of it now.
Yeah, from like I was saying, I watch a lot of historical stuff. It's like a non-ending thing because there's so many, and then as you find one, you find another. And,
yeah.
So the little gold bars, what were those now?
It was just your bulk shipping item for the Spanish to move the gold from South America back to Spain. And now this is what pirates were always after. You know, there's pirates are hunting treasure. You know, everybody thinks, you know, ooh, gold and silver doubloons. The doubloons weren't really minted on this side of the Atlantic. It was actually shipped from like this over, and then minted into coins or even, jewelry or table finery or whatever have you. But not everything that the pirates were after was just gold and silver. It was more mundane materials. It could be building materials. It could be fabric. It could be shoes. There's actually a record I came across where the Spanish had to record a loss of an entire shipment of boots to pirates. But if you have no shoes, you don't really care where they come from, right?
Correct.
So I could
As
sell
long as
you
they
shoes.
fit, sure.
Yeah.
Just it's also neat, and I want to thank you guys for coming in, because anything historical for me is exciting, and we're learning so much, and people watching. You got again, follow these guys on Facebook and on their web pages. And Tom, just really quick, if we could review the time, dates. We have a couple minutes left, as you can see. If you want to just throw in something.
So, yep, Town Green, September 3rd and 4th. It's Labor Day weekend. We'll start at 11 and we'll end at 6. And come on down. Here we have a reenactment of musket fire reenactment also. You'll see that. We'll see interaction with the children. We'll put you in the steel cages too. We have a couple of large steel cages your child can get in for a little scare. And of course, there's some of the food. And the food, there'll be about 30 to 35 vendors, food truck vendors there. So we'll have a little something for everybody. It'll be a rather impressive food truck fair in itself.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Absolutely.
We're going to have a lot of fun. So again, I want to thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
Fun. It's been great, and I've enjoyed learning all the historical stuff. I think it's important that we never forget history, because it is our past. It's where we came from. At some point, Tom Arnone. I'm going to make sure I do all this right. I want to thank Tom Arnone, Jean Hoy, and again, Chelsea Kerr and John Knife.
Thank
Got it
you.
right this time. And I want to just say a little special something that's a little off the grid here, just to end the show tonight with. I want to thank Sharon Musey. She was one of our original crew here. She's been a great asset to Enfield Today, but due to schedule, working and stuff, tonight's your last night. So I wanted to give a shout out to Sharon and thank you so much for everything you've done for us. And thank you guys. And hey, we'll see you next week on Enfield Today. Bye-bye.